If I have a successful eBay business,
I might find that I'm constrained by the number of packages I can send out in a day.
to make more money, I need to become more scalable.
That is, I need to send out more packages in the same amount of time.
If I review my processes,
I might find I'm spending too much time filling out address labels. I hope you enjoyed that look back at one of the very first educational videos I ever recorded in 2008. A lot has changed in that time. And in this video, I want to introduce you to my YouTube channel and tell you how to navigate the channel the easiest and how to find source code that matches the videos. I'm Brandon Jones. Thank you for coming to my channel. At the time I'm recording this video, I've just hit 25,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel. So first of all, I'd like to thank every one of those subscribers for subscribing to my channel. Secondly, for both the existing subscribers and for new visitors, I want to give you an introduction to my channel to make it easy to navigate. But first, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I spent the first 10 years of my career as a software developer right here in downtown Cincinnati. After that, I was training manager for technical training for a point-of-sale company that had a Java-based point-of-sale. And then for the last 5 years, I've been an engineering manager in the m-commerce space, so buying items with your iPhone or your Android device. Simultaneous to that, I've been a professor at the University of Cincinnati for over 21 years in the School of Information Technology and the Lindner College of Business. I've taught at a couple other universities as well, but my primary appointment is at the University of Cincinnati. So I believe strongly in what Bill Nye says, which is everybody I meet knows something I don't, or I can learn something from everybody I come into contact with. And I believe that knowledge is like open source software. It improves when it's shared. And I take a lot of my lecture videos from the university and I republish them here on my YouTube page so that former students will be able to access the lectures after class, and also people who I've never met will be able to find the lectures and help them solve problems. I find it really exciting when somebody comments on one of my videos and tells me that I helped them with something or I saved them from a difficult situation, because I know the people who are watching these videos are building something great, and it's really satisfying to have a hand in that. So I hope that this video helps you to navigate my channel, find videos efficiently, and help you build software that makes the world a better place. I now have over 1,000 videos that I have recorded and placed onto YouTube. The easiest way to navigate the videos is to use the playlists. I keep them organized in playlists so that you can see how to build an application from the ground up. And the playlists that I have fall into a few different groups. Programming-wise, I have several playlists on services and API development. So RESTful service with Spring Boot and IntelliJ IDEA, and also different playlists that covers C#, Razor Pages, and Microsoft Visual Studio. So a couple different ways that we can look at that. I tend to make a new playlist for that about every 2 years because I found those videos after about 2 years they start to get stale and they're newer, better approaches. So I update that about every 2 years. I also have an Android playlist, and that one I update about every 18 months because I find after about a year and a half there's a newer, better way to do Android, and I want to make sure and include that. I'm also going to soon have a playlist on IT management, so looking at Scrum, GitHub, and all of the integration so that we can understand where our projects are and when they will be finished. And then the final playlist is just plants, just a personal hobby of mine. I have a playlist on plants. Let's take a look at some of the playlists. And you'll see, if you navigate to my channel and you click on playlists, you'll see the latest. So, create Android app with Jetpack Compose. At the time I'm recording this video, that's my newest playlist. Then Azure Fundamentals, demonstrated with C# or Java. RESTful Microservices with Spring Boot and IntelliJ IDEA. And then the Plant Hobby playlist I mentioned. Then several other older playlists. I would just start at the top. If we take a look at something like the Jetpack Compose playlist, you'll see that I have a series of videos here that walk us through how to create a Jetpack Compose application from the ground up. The videos will typically be one of two different types. an overview video that goes over the concept, and then a hands-on coding example. For the hands-on coding example, you'll see the finished product in GitHub. So in most videos, I have a link to my GitHub repository where you can find that source code. So what I encourage you to do if you want to learn along is to take a look at that GitHub repository as you're watching the video and consider how you would implement it in your own project. But also consider cloning the repository or maybe even forking the repository and run the application or run the service locally so that you can be familiar with what you're building. Navigating through the entire playlist in YouTube is great if you want to see the entire catalog of videos and how to build an application from the ground up or a service from the ground up. But what if you just want to see how to do one thing? Well, I'm making that a whole lot easier now. If we take a look at our repository, My Plant Diary 32, our main or master branch is here and it has 57 commits. But what if I just want to do one thing? What if I just want to look at GPS and maps? Well, then I can go to the GPS and maps branch. And you'll notice that this branch has only the commits related to GPS and maps and everything that got us to this point. So building the app up to the point where we could engage the GPS and maps. Now my videos typically correspond to one commit, roughly. Sometimes I'll have two commits in one video or one video that spans multiple commits or vice versa. But there's a pretty good correlation between video and commit. So if you just want to see how to do GPS and maps, what you can do now is go directly to this GPS and maps branch, see those commits, but now take a look at this. If we scroll down, you can see the learning outcomes of just this branch, and you can see the videos that are related to just this branch. I typically will start with a walk the board, like a Scrum board, and then I will have an animation or an overview video that describes the concept without getting into code. Reason being, I tend to share these videos across different topics. So a video on GitHub I might use in a class that covers Kotlin, another one that uses Java, and another one that uses C#. So that allows a little bit of learning across the different domains. After that, though, I'll have a hands-on video that shows how to actually do it in code. So in this case, Get Location Data with Live Data View Model and Jetpack Compose in Android is the hands-on video. Another hands-on video, integrate Google Maps with Jetpack Compose and Live Data. That lets you know how to do one thing concisely and see the code directly where the video is. So I'm interested to see if you like this format and if this is worthwhile. My channel has certain trademarks. One is that I tend to talk about programming and fixing problems in programming. Another is that I always wear a suit and tie. And a lot of that dates back to my first year of teaching in the 2000-2001 school year, when interviews typically were professional dress, but you didn't tend to see people dressed up frequently. So I wanted to set the right impression for my students. I'll also admit I really enjoy the old videos of the New York City subway that you can find on YouTube from the 70s and the 80s, where you had a graffiti-filled subway with trash and generally not in good condition. Yet you had people in professional dress who were riding the subway, were aware of what was going on around them, and were completely oblivious to that. A lot of times that's the impression I give in my videos as well, where I dress up in a suit and tie, something's going on around me, and even though I'm aware it's there, I'm completely oblivious to it. One of my favorite things to do in a video is to change something subtle and be completely oblivious to it throughout the video. You've probably noticed on a lot of my videos that I grow a beard during the video, which takes about 3 weeks worth of work, in this case about 6 weeks, because I have to let the beard grow and then I have to shave the beard off and record the video in reverse so it looks like I'm clean shaven, and then a mustache appears, and then maybe sideburns appear, and then the sideburns connect to the mustache or something like that. I enjoyed doing that just to kind of give an incentive to watch the video to the end, because you never know what's going to happen next. And I actually have a whole series of videos where I do similar things like that, but unfortunately they're not public on YouTube, because what they are is when students ask me questions each week, I respond to them with a video. But because that's private student data, it's protected by FERPA, which is a federal privacy law. So I have those videos unlisted on YouTube. But I am going to include some clips of my favorite videos right now, where it's just me talking, so that's not covered by FERPA because there's not any private student data there. I did a lot of fun things. I record the video in different places, recorded on a glass elevator. I did that once with the glass behind me so it looked like I was on a moving floor. I've recorded them in a gym. I recorded it on a loading dock. I put on a pilot's outfit. So a lot of fun things that I do to keep engagement alive. And I certainly hope you enjoy some of the samples that I have here. And finally, thank you so much for visiting my channel and watching this overview video. If there's something that you see on a video that you'd like to know more about, or you have feedback for me, by all means leave a comment. I read comments every day, and I respond to most of them, as long as I have a good answer that I can provide to you. So your feedback's very important to me, and it helps me to improve my future videos, which is why I like it so much. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned. In this video, we're going to take a look at questions for me around 2017 or so, but it's since been officially adopted as the programming language for Android. And so let me talk about some advantages and disadvantages of doing something platform independent that could add value to your... In this video, we're going to take a look at questions for me, week number 9. Step over means execute this line and go to the next. Only look at the best practices, but be sure and cite them. And then there's less ambiguity over whether what you did was decreasing or increasing technical debt.
Yeah, definitely. I've seen a dramatic increase in employment in mobile application development since I started teaching the sequence back in the 2010-2011 school year. And keep in mind that if there are apps on the App Store, that doesn't mean they're finished. Remember how Scrum works. Remember how Agile works, where we create a working piece of software, and then we iterate on that, and we make that software better with each sprint. So yes, there are apps on the Play Store, and these apps need to be maintained.
But what if a variable does not contain an object? Let's consider this space, 639. There is no vehicle here. Therefore, there's no door for me to unlock. There's no door for me to open. It's simply empty.
A composable wants to watch something and notice if it changes. Think about when you use an Android device. Many times it's when you shouldn't be using an Android device. When you're in a meeting, when you're in a classroom, when you're driving, when you're taking a in the morning.